Okay, hello. Welcome back to the public domain reading hour thing that I, 1C2, do, where I read public domain texts for your listening pleasure. That sounded like I've been doing this for a while, but this is the second stream, so. Hello, Complex Note, nice to see you back. Sergeant Chicken Wing, nice to see you too. So, we are going to finish this play, Rossum's Universal Robots. Before we begin, might as well do a little summary just to catch people up if you're new. So essentially, let's just read the Wikipedia summary. You know, Rossum's Universal Robots. You're not going to be able to see it, but I'll just read it out. So far, we've done Act 1 and Act 2. This is what Act 1 is about. Helena, the daughter of the president of a major industrial power, arrives at the island factory of Rossum's Universal Robots. She meets Doman, the general manager of R.U.R, who tells her the story of the company. In 1920, a man named Rossum came to the island to study marine biology, and in 1932, he accidentally discovered a chemical that behaved like a protoplasm, except that it did not mind being knocked around. Rossum attempted to make a dog and a man, but he failed. His nephew came to see him, and the two argued non-stop, largely because old Rossum only wanted to create animals to prove that not only was God unnecessary, but that there was no God at all, and young Rossum only wanted to make himself rich. Eventually, young Rossum locked his uncle in a laboratory to play with his monsters and mutants, while young Rossum built factories and cranked out robots by the thousands. By the time the play takes place, around the year 2000, robots are cheap and available all around the world. They have become absolutely necessary because they allow products to be made at a fifth the previous cost. So essentially, most of what I just said was exposition given by one of the characters that isn't actually depicted in the play. So Doman, who's the general manager of R.U.R, tells Helena all about the story about how the company was created, and talks about old Rossum and young Rossum, and how the company has developed to the present day in the play. Helena meets Fabry, Dr. Gall, Alquist, Bustman, and Hallmeyer, and reveals she is a representative of an organization called the League of Humanity, a human rights organization that wishes to free the robots. The managers of the factory find this a ridiculous proposition, since they see robots as mere appliances. Helena requests that the robots be paid so that they can buy things that they like, but Fabry, Dr. Gall, Alquist, Bustman, Hallmeyer, and Doman retort that the robots do not like anything. Helena is eventually convinced that the League of Humanity is a waste of time and money, but continues to argue on the fact that robots should still have a soul. Later, Doman confesses that he loves Helena out of the blue and forces her into an engagement. That was definitely one of the weirder parts of the play, where just out of nowhere, he's like, "Marry me." And she's like, "No." And there was some, pretty inappropriate stuff going on. But Helena's forced into an engagement. That's the play. Act 2. 10 years later, Helena and her nurse, Nana, are talking about current events, particularly the decline in human births. At this point in time, there are no human births happening that are recorded. Because there is a lot of war happening between a bunch of different factions. Robots are being used as soldiers. Robots are being used to exterminate humans. It's really, really, not a good time living in this dystopian future. Helena and Doman reminisce about the day that they meet and summarize the last 10 years of world history, which has been shaped by the new worldwide robot-based economy. Helena meets Dr. Gall's new robot experiment named Radius, and Dr. Gall describes his experimental robot Tess, robot Helena. Both are more advanced, fully featured versions. In secret, Helena burns the formula required to create the robots. The revolt of the robots happens, and they reach Rossum's island as the act ends. So essentially, there's a war going on. Robots are trying to take over the world, and by the end of this act, they arrive and try to, take over Rossum's factory island. And that brings us to Act 3. Of course, there's a lot of fun stuff and nuance and whatever that's, overlooked by the summary, but to bring you up to speed, that does a pretty good job. Oh yeah, there's war crimes going on. There's a lot of war crimes. Nana and Helena look at a bunch of newspapers, and there's a bunch of stuff going on. Also, Helena and Doman have this fun little scene where, because it's the 10-year anniversary of when Helena first came to the island, and Doman's like, I want you to, reach into my pocket. There's a gift for you. And there's, a fun little gift or whatever. And she's like, oh, cool. And then he's like, check this other pocket. And she puts her hand in and takes out a gun. And it's like, yes, Helena married this guy, and they're both on Rossum Island. But then she reached into his other pocket, takes out a revolver, and she's like, why the hell do you have a revolver in your pocket? And he's like, oh, don't worry about that, and just takes it back, and the scene goes on. And then he's like, oh, look what else I bought you. And he points to the harbor, and it's a boat called the Ultimus. And he's like, wow, that's crazy. Wait a minute. That's not any normal boat. That's like a gunboat. That's like a battleship just sitting in the harbor. And he's like, yeah, it's a gunship. And so most of Act 2 is about Helena trying to figure out what's going on in the outside world, because Doman, her husband, has intentionally kept her in the dark about what's been happening. Doman really only cares about profiting and thinks that he has sort of a trump card against all the robots, but it turns out that, he was full of hubris and it didn't actually work. So, alas. So, all of them are surrounded on the island. Yeah, everyone buys their significant other a gunboat. It's just a thing. I think, it might be just a Czech thing, because this was written by a Czech writer, but I think it should be a universal tradition that, lovers buy each other gunboats on their whatever anniversary. So now we transition into Act 3. And essentially how I've been doing this is that I try my best to differentiate the voices between Helena and Doman. So Helena has, a bit more of a... Isn't that the theme of a 10-year anniversary? The gun... Yeah, exactly. So Helena has more of a higher-ish pitched voice. Doman has a bit of a bassier voice. And then Dr. Gall, Fabry, Alquist, Busman, I just do whatever voice for them to differentiate them within the scene. So apologies if they don't, their voices get muddled, or, one sounds a lot like the other. I just sort of see them as interchangeable. They're just all sort of Doman's, maybe not goons, but, his posse. So, let's begin with Act 3, now that we got the, disclaimers and a summary out of the way. So, we're in Helena's drawing room, as before in Act 2. The room is dark and gray. The steel shutters which were outside are still closed, as at the end of Act 2. Alquist is sitting in the chair, downstage at extreme right. Doman comes into the room, stage left. Subdued voices. Dr. Gall is looking out of the window, center stage. He is seated in a chair. Oh, and also, by the way, if the audio is at all funky or whatever, please let me know. If the music gets annoying, I can turn it off and you can just hear my wonderful, wonderful voice if you so desire. But, you know, just let me know if anything goes wrong. This is a experiment as much as it is a fun thing to do for me. So there could very well be things that, you know, don't go right again as it did yesterday. So Doman gets his binoculars from behind his desk and crosses up to window, talking to Gaul. Any more of them? Yes, they're standing like a wall beyond the garden railing. Why are they so quiet? It's monstrous to be besieged with such silence. Doman looks through the barred windows. I should like to know what they are waiting for. They must make a start. They must make a start any minute now. If they lean against the railings, it will snap like a match. They aren't armed. We couldn't hold our own for 5 minutes. Man alive, they overwhelm us like an avalanche. Why don't they make a rush for it, I say? Well, I'd like to know what will become of us in the next 10 minutes. They've got us in a vise. We're done for, Gaul. You know, we made one serious mistake. What? We made the robots' faces too much alike. 100,000 faces all alike, all facing this way. 100,000 expressionless bubbles. It's like a nightmare. You think if they'd been different, it wouldn't have been such an awful sight? I'd like to know what they're unloading from the Amelia. Not firearms. Fabry enters left stage with a plug box to which is attached a long cable or wire. Hallmeyer follows him. Fabry attaches the cable to an electric installation which is on the floor near the wall, downstage at left entrance. All right, Hallmeyer, lay down that wire. That was a bit of work. What's the news? We're completely surrounded. We've barricaded the passages and the stairs. God, what swarms of them! I don't like the looks of them, Doman. There's a feeling of death about it all. Any water here? Ready. What's the wire for, Fabry? The electrical installation. Now we can run the current all along the garden railing up to the window. Whenever we like, if anyone touches it, he'll know. Or he'll know it. We've still got some people there anyhow. Where? In the electrical works. At least, I hope so. Fabry goes to lamp on table left center and turns on the lamp. Ah, there. And they're working. As long as they'll burn, we're all right. Fabry turns to the window. The barricades are all right too, Fabry. Your barricades. I can't put 1200 volts into that railing. Helena is playing Rachmaninoff's Elegy off left stage. Or stage left. Where's Bustman? Doman has left window and is walking up and down stage across front. Downstairs in the office, he's working out some calculations. I've called him. We must have a conference. Thank God Madame Helena can still play. Hallmeyer crosses to left door, opens it slightly, and listens to music. Enter Bustman. Look out, Butts. Look out for the wires. What's that you're carrying? The ledger, my boy. I'd like to wind up the accounts before... Doman crosses up to window. Well, this time I shan't wait till the new year to strike a balance. What's up? He goes to the window. It's absolutely quiet. Can't you see anything? Nothing but blue everywhere. That's the robots. The robots are unloading firearms from the Amelia. Well, what of it? How can I stop them? Returns to left table, sits and opens ledger. We can't stop them. Then let me go on with my accounts. He goes on with his work. Doman picks up a telescope. Good God. The Ultimates has trained her guns on us. What is this, and why have you gotten this in my recommended lately? I'm just doing kind of a mediocre dramatic reading of this play called Rossum's Universal Robots. It's a sci-fi play from the 20s. It's where we get the word robot from, and it's about the robots taking over the world, so I think it's kind of fun. Good God, the Ultimus has trained her guns on us. Who's done that? The robots on board. Then of course. Then that's the end of us. You mean mediocre? I think it's kind of mediocre. I don't know what I'm doing here. It's hard to do like 6 or 7 characters who don't have, much in the way of different personalities, but I don't know. I'm trying here. I'm trying. Then of course, then that's the end of us. You mean the robots are practiced marksmen? It wouldn't have been such an awful sight. Oh, no, my bad. There we go. Yes, it's inevitable. Dr. Gall's swinging around, looking into the room. Pause. That was criminal of old Europe to teach the robots to fight. Damn them. Couldn't they have given us a rest with their politics? It was a crime to make soldiers out of them. It was a crime to make robots. No, Alquist. I don't regret that, even today. Not even today. Not even today. The last day of civilization. It was a colossal achievement. 360 million. Alquist, this is our last hour. We are already speaking half in the other world. That was not an evil dream to shatter the servitude of labor. The dreadful and humiliating labor that man had to undergo. Work was too hard. Life was too hard. We had to overcome that. And to overcome that was not what the two Rossums dreamed of. Old Rossum only thought of his godless tricks, and the young one of his milliards. And that's not what your R.U.R. shareholders dream of either. They dream of dividends, and their dividends are the ruin of mankind. To hell with your dividends. Doman crosses in front of couch. Do you suppose I'd have done an hour's work for them? It was for myself that I worked, for my own satisfaction. I wanted man to become the master, so that he shouldn't live merely for the crust of bread. I wanted not a single soul to be broken by other people's machinery. I wanted nothing to be left of this appalling social structure. I'm revolted by poverty. I wanted a new generation. I wanted to turn the whole of mankind into an aristocracy of the world. An aristocracy nourished by millions of mechanical slaves, unrestricted, free, and consummated in man. And maybe more than man. Superman? Yes. Oh, only to have 100 years of time. Another 100 years for the future of mankind. Carried forward 420 millions. What a fine thing music is. We ought to have gone in for that before. Gone in for what? Beauty, lovely things. What a lot of lovely things there are. The world was wonderful, and we here. Tell me, what enjoyment did we have? 520 million. Life was a good thing. Life was... Looking at the window directly to Fabry. Fabry, switch the current into the railing. Why? He rushes over to the current installation. They're grabbing hold of it. Doman rises and straightens up. All of them rise. Connect it up. Fine, that's double them up. 2, 3, 4 killed. They're retreating. Doman sits back down. 5 killed. The first encounter. The charge to the cinders, my boys. Who says you must give in? The music that Helen is playing stops. Alquist and Gall sit. Doman wiping his forehead. Perhaps we've been killed this 100 years and are only ghosts. It's as if I had been through all this before, as if I'd already had a mortal wound here in the throat. Doman looks at each of the men as he speaks. And you, Fabry, had once been shot in the head, and you, Gall, torn limb from limb, and Hallmeyer knifed. Fancy me being knifed. Hallmeyer looks at each of them, and then speaks again. Why are you so quiet, you fools? Speak, can't you? Who is to blame for all of this? Nobody is to blame, except the robots. No, it is we are to blame. You, Doman, myself, all of us, for our own selfish ends, for profit, for progress, we have destroyed mankind. Now, we'll burst with all of our greatness. Rubbish, man. Mankind can't be wiped out so easily. It's our fault. It's our fault. No, I'm to blame for this. Everything that's happened. Dr. Gall leaves the window and comes down to the end of the couch. You, Gall? I changed the robots. What's that? I changed the character of the robots. I changed the way of making them. Just a few details about their bodies, chiefly their irritability. Damn it. Why? What did you do it for? Why didn't you say anything? I did it in secret. I was transforming them into human beings. In certain respects, they're already above us. They're stronger than we are. And what's that got to do with the revolt of the robots? Everything, in my opinion. They've ceased to be machines. They're already aware of their superiority, and they hate us as they hate every human. Perhaps we're only phantoms. Stop, Harry. We haven't much time, Dr. Gall. Fabry, how your forehead bleeds where the shot pierced it. Be silent. Dr. Gall, you admit changing the way of making the robots? Yes. Were you aware of what might be the consequences of your experiment? I was bound to reckon with such a possibility. Why did you do it, then? Helena entered stage left. For my own satisfaction. The experiment was my own. That's not true, Dr. Gall. Helena crosses to the couch. Helena, you? Let's look at you. Oh, it's terrible to be dead. He rises and crushes her in his arms. Stop, Harry. No, Helena, don't leave me now. You are life itself. No, dear, I won't leave you, but I must tell them. Dr. Gall is not guilty. Excuse me, Gall was under certain obligations. No, he did it because I wanted it. Tell him, Dr. Gall. How many years ago did I ask you to? I did it on my own responsibility. I don't believe him. I asked him to give the robots souls. This has nothing to do with the soul. Also, I find it kind of funny that the music is a bit, triumphant and happy while I'm reading this very, very depressing scene. But, c'est la vie. That's what he said. He said that he could change only a physiological correlate. Yes, but it meant so much to me that he could do even that. Why? I thought that if... Oddly fits TBH. I'm glad to hear it. I thought that if they were more like us, they would understand us better. But they couldn't hate us. That they couldn't hate us if they were only a little more human. Nobody can hate man more than man. Oh, don't speak like that, Harry. It was so terrible, this cruel strangeness between us and them. That's why I asked Gall to change the robots. We're all going to die. I gave mechanical slaves consciousness. Maybe the music is from the robot's perspective. They're They're doing their revolt, their little revolution. They're having their little Les Mis moment outside the window. So maybe this is actually what they're hearing. Who knows? That's why I asked Gaul to change the robots. I swear to you that he didn't want to. But he did it. Because I asked him to. I did it for myself as an experiment. Dr. Gall goes up to the window. No, Dr. Gall. I know you wouldn't refuse me. Why? You know Harry. Yes. Because he's in love with you. Like, all of them. Fabry up to window. Pause. Doman takes her in his arms. Good God, they're sprouting out of the earth! Why, perhaps these very walls will change into robots. Gull, when did you actually start these tricks of yours? 3 years ago. Aha, and on how many robots altogether did you carry out your improvements? Busman walks to and fro. A few hundred of them. That means for every million of the good old robots, there's only one of Gall's improved pattern. What of it? That it's of no consequence whatsoever. Busman's right. Helena sits in the armchair, right of left center table. I think so, my boy, but do you know what is to blame for this lovely mess? What? The number. Upon my soul, we might have known that someday or other the robots would be stronger than human beings, or that this was bound to happen, and we were doing all we could to bring about this and we were doing all we could to bring it about as soon as possible. You, Doman, you, Fabry, myself. Are you accusing us? Doman turns to Busman. Oh, do you suppose the management controls the output? It's the demand that controls the output. And is it for this, or is it for that we must perish? That's a nasty word, Madame Helena. We don't want to perish. I don't, anyhow. No? What do you want to do, then? I want to get out of this, that's all. Oh, stop it, Busman. Seriously, Harry, I think we might try it. How? By fair means. I do everything by fair means. Give me a free hand, and I'll negotiate with the robots. By fair means. Of course. For instance, I'll say to them, worthy and worshipful robots, you have everything. You have intellect, you have power, you have firearms, but we have just one interesting screed. A dirty old yellow scrap of paper, Rossum's manuscript. All of them seem interested. Yes, and that, I'll tell them, contains an account of your illustrious origin, the noble process of your manufacture, and so on. Worthy robots, without the scribble on that paper, you will not be able to produce a single new colleague. In another 20 years, there will not be the living specimen of a robot who you could exhibit in a menagerie. My esteemed friends, that would be a great blow to you, but if you will let all of us human beings on Rossum's Island go on board that ship, we will deliver the factory and the secret of the process to you in return. You allow us to get away, and we will allow you to manufacture yourselves. That, worthy robots, is a fair deal. Something for something. That's what I'd say to them, my boys. Busman sits back down. Busman, do you think we'd sell the manuscript? Yes, I do. If not in a friendly way, then either we sell it or they'll find it, just as you like it. Or just as you like. Busman, we can destroy Rossum's manuscript. Then we destroy everything, not only the manuscript, but ourselves, just as you think fit. There are over 30 of us on this island. Are we to sell the secret and save that many souls at the risk of enslaving mankind? Why, you're mad. Who'd sell the whole manuscript? Busman, no cheating. Well, then sell, but let's suppose this happens. When we're on board the Ultimus, I'll stop up my ears with cotton wool, lie down somewhere in the hold, and you'll train the guns on the factory and blow it to smithereens. and with Rossum's secret. No! Busman, you're no gentleman. If we sell them, it will be a straight sale. It's in the interest of humanity it's in the interest of humanity to keep our word. Oh come, what rubbish. This is a fearful decision. We are selling the destiny of mankind. Are we to sell or destroy? Fabry? Sell. Gall? Sell. Hallmeyer? Sell, of course. Alquist? As God wills it. Very well, gentlemen. Harry, you're not asking me. No, my child. Don't you worry about it. No one pats her on the shoulder. Who'll do the negotiating? I will. Busman goes up to the window. Wait till I bring the manuscript. Harry, don't go! Oh, to escape. This chapter so far makes me wonder if the population of humans on this version of Earth wasn't that large, or at least was on the decline, or the robot crisis. I don't know. All I know is that a lot of people died. They were talking about hundreds of thousands of millions of people just, Thanos snapped from existence essentially from these automata, so who knows, man. But apparently this is supposed to take place in like 2000. So I guess just imagine 2000's population. Well, the birth rate now that the robots are, in revolt, is like 0. Like no one's giving birth and no births are being recorded. So it's quite apocalyptic looking, but let's see how our heroes here are going to be able to salvage something. Harry, don't go. Oh, to escape you matter in revolt. Oh, to preserve human life, if only upon a single vessel. Don't be afraid. Madame Helena, we'll sail far away from here. We'll begin life all over again. Oh, Gall, don't speak. It isn't too late. Going left of her chair. It will be a little state with one ship. Alquist will build us a house, and you shall rule over us. Madame Helena, Fabry's right. Oh, Sergeant Chicken Wing, what exactly are you confused about? Madame Helena, Fabry is right. Oh, stop. Good. I don't mind beginning all over again. That suits me right down to the ground. And this little state of ours could be the center of a future place, a place of refuge where we could gather strength. Why, in a few hundred years, we could conquer the world again. You believe that even today? Yes. Amen. You see, Madame Helena, we're not so badly off. Oh, that question mark was supposed to be there instead of an apostrophe. Gotcha. My bad. Sorry for the confusion. Why, in a few hundred years, we could conquer this world again. You believe that even today? Yes. Amen. You see, Madame Helena, we're not so badly off. Doman storms into right of couch, hoarsely. Where is old Rossum's manuscripts? In your strongbox, of course. Someone has stolen it. Impossible. Who has stolen it? Hide it. Helena stands up. Reactions from Fabry and Hallmeyer. Where did you put it? Harry, I'll tell you everything. Only forgive me. Where did you put it? This morning, I burnt the 2 copies. Burnt them? Where, in the fireplace? He runs over to the fireplace, followed by Fabry, Hallmeyer, and Busman. Helena, throwing herself onto her knees by sofa facing upstage. For heaven's sake, Harry. Doman goes to the fireplace. Nothing. Nothing but ashes. Wait, what's this? Doman picks up a charred piece of paper and reads, by adding, and then Fabricol and Hallmeyer move up to him. Let's see, by adding biogen. That's it. Is that part of it? Dr. Gall carrying paper down and letting it fall. Yes. Gall crosses to left center, Hallmeyer to right. Gall crosses to left center, Hallmeyer to right of left center table. Fabry to window, Busman to left of center table. God in heaven. Then we're done for. Get up, Helena. Then you've forgiven me? Get up, child. I can't bear. Please don't torture us. Harry, what have I done? Don't, Madam Helena. Gall, you couldn't drop Rossum's formula from memory? It's out of the question. Even with my recent experiments, I couldn't work without referring to the formula. It's extremely complicated. Try. All of our lives depend on it. Without experiments, it's impossible. And with experiments, it might take years. Besides, I'm not old Rossum. God in heaven, God in heaven. So, then this was the greatest triumph of the human intellect. These ashes. Harry, what have I done? Why did you burn it? I have destroyed you. God in heaven. Helena, why did you do it, dear? I wanted all of us to go away. I wanted to put an end to the factory and everything. It was so awful. What was awful? That children had stopped being born because human beings were not needed to do work in the world. That's why. Is that what you were thinking of? Well, perhaps in your own way you were right. Wait a bit. Busman rises. Good God, what a fool I am not to have thought of it before. What? 520 million in banknotes and checks. 500 million in our safe. They'll sell for 500 million. For 500 million they'll... Crosses over to Doman. Are you mad, Busman? I may not be a gentleman, but for 500 million... Where are you going? Gall clutches Busman. Leave me alone, leave me alone. Good God, for 500 million, anything can be bought. Gall and Hallmeyer are after him, and then stop. He rushes out left stage. Fabry, Gall, and Hallmeyer to the window. Hello there. Welcome to the fun little stream that I'm doing of just reading this play. It is Rossum's Universal Robots. It's a science fiction play, produced originally in 1920. It's by a Czech writer named Karel Čapek, and it's where we get the word robot from. You entered at quite an interesting point in time. Essentially, the world has gone to shit, robots are taking over, and the main characters are trying to figure out what to do. And they're in charge of a robot factory. What would robots want with currency in a post-human world? I don't know. We'll find out. For 500 million, anything can be bought. They stop him. Fabry, Gall, and Hallmeyer go to the window. They stand there as if turned to stone, waiting as if something dreadful could be wrought by their silence. The spirit of the mob. Yes, it hovers above them like a quivering of the air. Oh God, Dr. Gall, this is ghastly. There is nothing more terrible than the mob. The one in front is their leader. Which one? Point him out. The one at the edge of the dock. This morning I saw him talking to the sailors on the harbor. Dr. Gall. That's Radius. Helena backs into the room, horror-stricken. Yes. Radius? Radius? Could you get him from here, Fabry? I hope so. Try it then. Good. Fabry draws his revolver and takes aim. Helena to Fabry. Fabry, don't shoot him. He's their leader. Fire! Fabry, I beg of you. Helena runs to Fabry and holds his arm. Fabry pauses, lowering the revolver. Very well. It was Radius' life I spared. Do you think that a robot can be grateful? Husband's going after them. He's carrying something. Papers, that's money. Bundles of money. What's that for? Surely he doesn't want to sell his life. Someone rushes to the window. Busman, have you gone mad? He's running up to the railing. Busman, you come back. He's talking to the robots. He's showing them the money. He's pointing to us. He wants to buy us off. He'd better not touch that railing. Now he's waving his arms about. Busman, come back! Busman, keep away from that railing. Don't touch it, damn you. Quick, switch off the current. Doman runs to the left stage. Helena screams and all drop back from the window. The current has killed him. The first one. Alquist still in chair, down right. Helena sits in chair at window. Dead. With $500 million by his side. Fabry crosses down to table left center. All honor to him. He wanted to buy his life. Hallmeyer crosses to chair left. Pause. A wind machine begins. Do you hear? A wind, or a roaring, like a wind. Like a storm. The dynamo is still going. Our people are still there. It was a great thing to be a man. Facing lamp from up center. There was something immense about it. From man's thought, immense power came this light. Our last hope. Looking at his lamp. Leaning over the lamp. Hallmeyer faces the lamp. Man's power. May keep watch over us. Man's power. Doman at the corner of the table facing lamp. Yes, a torch to be given from hand to hand, from age to age, forever. The lamp goes out. Explosions are heard in the background. The end. The electric works have fallen. Terrific explosions outside. More explosions. And here, Helena. He takes Helena off through door on the stage right and re-enters. Now quickly, who will be on the lower doorway? I will. Dr. Gull rushes out, stage left. Doman near the couch. Who on the stairs? I will. You go with her. Fabry exits stage left. The anteroom? Ante? I don't know what that room is. But we'll just call it the anteroom. The anteroom? I will. He rises and goes to, or Alquist rises and goes towards stage left. Have you got a revolver? Yes, but I won't shoot. What will you do then? Die. Alquist leaves. I'll stay here. More explosions are heard. Rapid firing of machine gun from below. Go to her, Harry. Yes, in a second. Doman gets from fireplace and examines 2 Browning guns. There's a warning curtain. Confound it, go to her. Goodbye. Doman exits stage right. And now Hallmeyer's on stage alone. Now for a barricade, quickly. Drags an armchair, sofa, and table to stage right door. The damn devils, they've got bombs. I must put up a defense. Even as... don't give in, Gall. Hallmeyer continues to build his barricade. I mustn't give in without a struggle. A robot enters through the windows at back. The robot jumps down from the balcony and stabs Hallmeyer in the back. Enter Radius from the balcony. Robot standing up from prostrate form of Hallmeyer. Yes. Other robots enter from all doors. A revolver shot off stage left. Finish them all. Yes. 2 robots dragging in Alquist from stage left. He didn't shoot. Shall we kill him? No, leave him. He is a man. He works with his hands, like the robots. Kill me. You will work. You will build for us. You will serve us. Radius climbs on the balcony. Robots of the world. Robots all straighten up. The power of man has fallen. A new world has arisen. The rule of the robots. March. On the line, robots of the world. All robots turn quickly, automatically to attention, facing Radius, who is standing. On the words, the rule of the robots, they stand there with their arms vibrating high in the air. They form in two lines, turn to the audience, and march mechanically to the footlights. As they are about to step over the footlights, as if into the audience, all lights go out. The robots immediately step back from the curtain line as the curtain falls. Well, that's Act 3. Oh, damn. Doman really did know about him getting stabbed. Ugh. Well, this is interesting end to Act 3. The curtain falls. Well, I'm gonna get some water. In the meantime, I'd love to hear your thoughts so far on this, this act. We're almost done. Look, we're 84% done with this. Now the only thing left is the epilogue, which is, I guess, mini Act 4. Any thoughts, feelings about this act, anyone? If not, I guess I can just keep going. Got some water. You want to think they deserve this, but you're mixed. Very interesting that I found that Doman precisely predicted his death. Will the stream stay public? Yes, the stream will stay public. What I might do, just so that my, video list isn't screwed up, I might unlist them, but put them into a public playlist so that people can watch them. But I don't know, I haven't decided quite yet. Yeah, this is very interesting. I really thought it was interesting. I forget who was talking, but when they were talking about how, like, this was just sort of inevitable. Makes me wonder if he will be right about the others. We'll find out. This could be, it worked as an allegory for a lot of things, whether it be like automation or maybe like climate change. It's sort of like, if you don't consciously think about what you're doing, then, and steam forward into quote-unquote progress, then you're dooming civilization. Anywho, let's get into the epilogue. So strap yourselves in. We're almost done. This is not going to take very long. I don't anticipate. So, epilogue. The epilogue setting is the same as used in Act 1. Instead of it being in Doman's office, it has now become a laboratory for Alquist. A big chair facing upstage, down right. A desk laden with books at right center, a chair at the desk. At left center is a white enamel table containing test tubes, glass bottles, and a microscope on downstage table. A door down stage left, a door down stage right, leading into dissecting room. They're playing God in a way, but as I think Doman said he wanted to create a post-scarcity world, believing that robots were just unlimited labor. Yeah, that's an interesting way of thinking about it. But what sacrifices need to be made, or if this, ideal is actually a good ideal to have. It's really weird because some characters are like, no, humanity needs to work and needs to find, I don't know, meaning and purpose for work, and other characters are like, no, humans should just be free from work. I don't know. I would need to do some more thinking on my own. I'm just off the cuff, and this isn't, some in-depth analysis, but it's really interesting to think about. They just touch on so many things. Like with Rossum, he wanted to play God. That was like his entire thing. The Doman just wanted to create this, like you said, post-scarcity world. And other characters have their own motivations that are different from each other. I don't know, it's very interesting. Like an onion, many layers. Exactly, this is perfect example. Okay. Oh god, what voice did I have for Alquist? I don't remember. But I don't think there are that many characters anymore, because they're all dead. Or imprisoned or something. So I'm just gonna wing it. Alquist seated at table right center, turning pages of his book. Oh god, shall I never find it? Never? Gall, Haumauer, Fabry, how were the robots made? Why did you not leave a trace of the secret? Lord, if there were no human beings left, at least let there be robots, at least the shadow of man. He turns through more pages. If I could only sleep, dare I sleep before life has been renewed? Night again. Are there still stars? Are the stars still there? Of what use are the stars when there are no human beings? He examines the test tube. Nothing. No, I must find it. I must search. I must never stop. Never stop. Search. There's a knock on the door. Who is it? Enter a robot servant. Master, the Committee of Robots is waiting to see you. I can see no one. It is the Central Committee, Master. Just arrived from abroad. Well, then, send them in. Exit servant. No time, so little done. Re-enter servant with Radius and a group of robots. They stand in group left and center, silently waiting. What do you want? Be quick, I have no time. Master, the machines will not do the work. We cannot manufacture robots. Other robots remain two abreast at left center, right foot forward. We have striven with all our might. We have obtained 1 billion tons of coal from the earth. 9 million spindles are running by day and by night. There is no longer room for all we have made. This we have accomplished in 1 year. For whom? For future generations, so we thought. But we cannot make robots to follow us. The machines produce only shapeless clods. The skin will not adhere to the flesh, nor the flesh to the bones. 8 million robots have died this year. Within 20 years, none will be left. Tell us the secret to life. Silence is punishable with death. Kill me then. Radius, 2 steps to center, followed by others. Open hands, closed when stopped. Through me, the governments of the robots of the world commands you to deliver up Rossum's formula. Gesture of despair from Alquist. Name your price. Silence. We will give you the earth. We will give you the endless possessions of the earth. More silence. Make your conditions. I have told you to find human beings. There are none left. I told you to search in the wilderness, upon the mountains. We have sent ships and expeditions without number. They have been sent everywhere in the world. There is not a single human left. Not even one? Why did you destroy them? We had learnt everything and could do everything. It had to be. Wait, so they're still servant robots? Are the robots with the consciousness update using the others as slaves? Whoa. I don't know. I guess the ones that Dr. Gall souped up, are like supposed to be the quote-unquote superior ones. So maybe they ended up creating a hierarchy. So, I don't know. We had to become the masters. Slaughter and domination are necessary if you would be human beings. If slaughter and domination are necessary if you would be human beings, read history. Teach us to multiply or we perish. If you desire to live, we must breed like animals. You made us sterile. We cannot beget children. Therefore, teach us how to make robots. Why do you keep from us the secret of our own increase? It is lost. It was written down. It was burnt. All of them draw one step back in consternation. I am the last human being, robots, and I do not know what the others knew. Alquist sits back down. Then make the experiments. Evolve the formula again. I tell you, I cannot. I'm only a builder. I work with my hands. I have never been a learned man. I cannot create life. Try. If you only knew how many experiments I've made already. Then show us what we must do. The robots can do anything that human beings show them. I can show you nothing. Nothing I do will make life proceed from these test tubes. Experiment then on live robots. Experiment then on us. It would kill you. You shall have all you need. 100 of us. 1,000 of us. No, stop. I tell you to take live bodies. Find out how we are made. Am I to commit murder? See how my finger shakes. I can't even hold a scalpel. No. I won't. Take live bodies. Have mercy, robots. Live bodies. Right hand up over Alquist. All robots' left arms are still back. You will have it. Into the dissecting with you, then. He hits Radius on the chest. Radius draws back. Ah. Are you afraid of death? I? Why should I be chosen? So you will not. I will. Strip him. Lay him on the table. Radius goes off right, both fists close. Other robots follow, then Alquist. God, give me strength. God, give me strength. If only this murder is not in vain. Radius off right. Ready? Begin. God, give me strength. Alquist comes back on stage horrified. No, I will not. I can't. He sits right center. First robot appearing in the door. Robots are stronger than you. Exits right. Oh Lord. Let not mankind perish from the earth. He falls asleep, and after the count of 10, Primus and Helena, hand in hand, enter left and go to right center, looking at Alquist. The man has fallen asleep, Primus. Yes, I know. Crosses to left of table left center. Look, Helena. All these test tubes. What does he do with them? He experiments. Do not touch them. I've seen him looking through this. That is a microscope. Look, Primus, what are all these figures? Turns a page in a book on a table. Primus examines the book. That is the book the old man is always reading. There's a sunrise. I do not understand those things. Helena goes to window. Primus. What? The sun is rising. Primus still reading. I believe this is the most important thing in the world, Helena. This is the secret of life. Oh, Primus, don't bother with the secret of life. What does it matter to you? Come and look quickly. What is it? See how beautiful the sun is rising. I feel so strange today. It's as if I was in a dream. I feel an aching in my body, in my heart, all over me. Primus, perhaps I'm going to die. Do you not sometimes feel that it would be better to die? You know, perhaps even now we were only sleeping. Last night in my sleep, I again spoke to you. In your sleep? Yes, we spoke in a strange new language. What about? I not understand myself, and yet I know I have never said anything more beautiful. And when I touched you, I could have died. Even the place was different from any other place in the world. I too have found a place, Primus. It is very strange. Human beings dwelt there once, but now it is overgrown with weeds. What did you find there? A cottage and a garden and 2 dogs. They licked my hands, Primus, and they're puppies. Oh, Primus, take them in your arms and fondle them and think of nothing and care for nothing else all day long. And when I am there, in the garden, I feel there may be something. What am I for, Primus? I do not know, but you are beautiful. What, Primus? You are beautiful, Helena, and I am stronger than all the robots. Am I beautiful? Of what use is it to be beautiful? Look, your head is different from mine, so are your shoulders, and your lips, and your hair is... Must I? I will soothe it. She keeps her hand on his head. No one else feels to my touch as you do. Primus, embarrassing her. Do you not sometimes feel your heart beating suddenly, Helena, and think how something must happen? What could happen to us, Primus? Look at yourself. They laugh. Alquist wakes up. Laughter? Laughter? Human beings? Who has returned? Who are you? The robot Primus. What? A robot? Who are you? The robotess Helena. What? You are timid, shy. Alquist starts to touch her. Let me see you, robotess. Sir, do not frighten her. Primus steps forward. What, you would protect her? Laughter, timidity, protection. I must test you further. Take the girl into the dissecting room. Why? I wish to experiment on her. Upon Helena? Of course. Don't you hear me? Or I must call someone else to take her in. If you do, I will kill you. Primus steps forward towards Alquist. Kill me then. What will your future be? Sir, take me. I'm made on the same day she is. Take my life, sir. Primus steps forward to Alquist. No, you shall not. Wait, girl, wait. Do you not wish to live, then? Not without her. I will not live without her. Very well, I will use you. Into the dissecting room with you. Primus! Primus! Helena bursts into tears and moves stage right. Alquist stops her. Child, you can weep! Tears! What is Primus to you? One Primus more or less in the world, what does it matter? I will go myself. Where, in the dissecting room? Yes, in there, to be cut. Primus stops her from going. Let me pass, Primus, let me pass. You shall not go in there, Helena. If you go in there and I do not, I will kill myself. I will not let you. Man. Oh, to Alquist, I will not let you. Man, you shall kill neither of us. Why? We belong to each other. Then go. Exit Primus and Helena. Stage left. Adam, Eve. Curtain. Finn. And we're over. That was kind of cute at the end. How Primus and Helena ended up like each other. Ended up developing human feelings. Very interesting. Yep, this play... Let me double check what year this was. Rossum's Universal Robots was published in 1920, performed in 1921. and it was originally Czech, but apparently became super popular and was translated into a bunch of languages, like in English, which is what I'm reading right now, because I can't read Czech. So that's the end of the play. It's definitely an interesting little cautionary tale. But I don't know, at least it had a mildly sweet ending. The most advanced piece of machinery was the plane at the time. I mean, they had... This was after, World War I, so... There's some, a lot of sophisticated machinery that came out of that. I'm sure that played a part in it too, thinking about, the destructive potential of technology on the human race. Makes you think of Metropolis. And the ending odd but fitting. I agree. I wonder if Metropolis was actually inspired by this. I want to look it up. Let's see here. I'm on the Wikipedia page for Metropolis right now. Bum 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 bum. Let's see here. Well, I can't find anything that ties together Metropolis with R.U.R, but it would not surprise me that the one influenced the other. You know what this play reminds you of? Have you ever heard of Detroit Become Human? Yes, I've watched a few highlight streams of some people play that game. So that's definitely in a similar vein. I mean, it's possible. Probably not exclusively this play, because, the themes surrounding automation and, artificial life have been around for a while. And I guess it was pieces like this and like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, things like that. I guess were like the genesis in modern times of thinking about the consequences of trying to play God. But there have been plenty of other pieces of media since then that have done their own spin on it. Detroit Become Human being one of them. Okay, let's transition to chill time. Did it actually work? Yes, we're chilling. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, something inspired something that inspired something. Detroit Become Human was influenced by Ghost in the Shell. That makes sense. What little I know about Ghost in the Shell, and also Detroit Become Human, but that does indeed make sense. But yeah, thank you all for, for participating and watching. This was definitely something a bit new, something I'm not really used to doing, live streaming as it were. And I'm glad that even though I had no idea what I was doing, and I was just making up things on the fly essentially, I'm glad that, some people seem to have enjoyed it. Yeah, let me know if you want more of this in the future. I think I might start to do something other than a play, because something I realized while reading this was that it's hard to juggle a bunch of different characters, and make it exceptionally clear what's happening, while also trying to account for like things like pacing, especially when you're going into the play completely blind. So, c'est la vie. I still think it was at least mildly successful, despite all of those factors. I'll try to find more things. Something I've been thinking about is maybe like reading some Edgar Allan Poe short stories and whatnot, because there are plenty of those. I'm sure they would make for good entertainment. Maybe I'll put on some spooky music or something. Live stream audiobook format with discussions in the future would be cool. I'm glad to hear it, my friend. I'm glad that this the second half of this play did not take nearly as long. Because yesterday I was starting to lose my voice by the end. I don't know if you all could tell, but like my enthusiasm was slipping a little bit once we got to the end of Act 2. Just because they were very, very long. But luckily we were able to effectively get through this. And it was an hour 20 minutes. Probably less than that, hour 10 minutes, because I started at 6:10. Alright, do you all have any other questions, comments, concerns? Yeah, maybe, I don't know if exactly a toll, but it's definitely like mildly challenging to try to juggle all those things together. And like I said before, while also trying to take into consideration pacing, stage directions. You know, in a play, those things just sort of happen. They're not described. And so, you know, me reading stage directions it did many times sort of ruin the pacing of a scene. I would forget what the pacing of a scene was supposed to be like. But I also wanted to make sure that, like, it was clear who was talking. So, whatever. I did it. That's what matters. What kind of music do I listen to? I listen to a bunch of different music. I'm completely blanking right now, but I can give you some artists. I like I listen to a lot of classic rock. I get a lot of shit for being a Beatles fan, but screw it. I like the Beatles. I'll admit it. What some of my favorite artists are, like Sam Galatry. Sam Galatry is an EDM artist. He's Scottish. I'm pretty sure he dropped out of like schooling in his teens to pursue a career in making music. And he's around my age, maybe even a little younger. So the music he makes is just, I don't know, really eye-opening for me with regards to like what electronic music can be. I don't know. I'm just looking through my Spotify right now to try to find artists that I really like. Of course, the Beach Boys. I made a video on the Beach Boys, so Breakbot is fun. Bon Iver is fun. Chet Faker is really cool. He's got a really unique voice, and the composition of his pieces, or not pieces, but songs don't usually sort of, because they're more, not quite, they're electronic, but it sort of rides the line of electronic and acoustic, which I really like. I just want to say that you like my channel and my content. Well, thank you. It really means a lot. I've been having a sort of like little, maybe not crisis, but little what's the word? I've just been in a mood lately where I've thought about my videos that I've made, and I've just been really self-critical of them in my head since making them. So it really means a lot to hear that, people actually enjoy the things that I make. Because sometimes even I doubt that, or doubt their quality. So it really does mean a lot. Bum bum bum. Most people are their own worst critic. That's definitely fair. And I am certainly no exception to that rule. But at the very, like, some of my earlier videos, I don't even watch them. I just like think about them in my head and like the editing choices and things that I made, and I think about all the things that I could have done different or better. And I've had like moments in my head where I'm like, what if I just, take these down or whatever. But I leave them up because, like, I think it's important for me anyway, to remember that I believe anyway that I've improved in my editing and my writing since starting out. Like, especially my first two videos that I made back in 2017, they're awful. I look at the editing and I cringe when I look at it. But I've come a long way with respects to that. I also found you through the Germa video. Gaming on Mac. Yes. Thank you, Corn Boy, for referencing my old gaming channel from way back in the day. I also found you through the Germa video, and I found it kind of sad that not as many people subbed you. I mean, a lot of people did sub to me. Like, it was because of that video that I was able to reach 1,000 subs, and so I am beyond thankful for the reaction that video got. Yeah, it's all a process. But even for the people who didn't subscribe, there were a lot of people who seemed to get a lot out of that video. So the thing that surprised me the most was that were actually a handful of people who commented, who said that they had no idea who Germa was when they started watching, and they watched this video, they got introduced to Germa, and they binged a bunch of him, and they came back and they were like, hey, thanks for making this video, otherwise I wouldn't have ever learned about Germa. There were some really sentimental ones where people talked about how, like, they were having a really rough time, and how they're very appreciative that they were able to find Germa, to watch him be funny and to improve their lives. And so just, being that sort of connecting point between 1 and 2, I'm pretty proud of. Even if regardless of the video's quality, at least from like a utilitarian standpoint, the video has provided utility in improving people's lives. So Germa's fan base does love when you talk about him. Yes. That's definitely true. Germa's fan base is probably one of the most dedicated communities that I have come across on the internet. It's absolutely incredible, and also one of the least toxic, in my opinion. Like, a lot of communities have gone, by the wayside, or the communities just become so obnoxious and awful that they're just not fun to interact with or be in. But Germa's, even for as long as he's been making stuff, his community is still just wonderful. And he's still funny, which props to him. Props to him. By the way, he's going to stream soon. Yep. When is it? It's like a few days probably, right? Yeah, I think like on Friday or Saturday. '30th? Oh, cool. Well, I've very much been enjoying the second German content that's been coming out lately. I don't watch most of his streams live, so I'm relegated to watching highlights on second Germa. Kind of from Star, but in the stream format, I always like Germa better. I don't know, something happened when Star switched to streaming. I guess there was the VOD squad. There's this, presumption that all TF2 YouTubers and creators would just migrate to Overwatch. And Star did that and, started streaming or whatever. And then, but Germa didn't, and he just sort of went off and did his own thing. And for a while, I thought that would have been, that was a mistake, because everyone just thought that Overwatch was going to be the game that would, last equally as, or be equally as relevant and for, as long as TF2 was. But, I don't know. Star's content on Twitch just became, less interesting, in my opinion. And then I stopped watching him. The thing is that he also has a lot of friends just as nice as him, like Etika, or Italics, Vinesauce, Vinny, and Joel. That's very true. Also from my German video, there were a lot of people who commented, they were like, what about Vinesauce? Vinny and Joel are funny too. And, they're right, but I haven't watched nearly as much Vinesauce. I could probably count, the Vinesauce that I've watched on my 10 hands. I love Joel's PC destructions. Those are just wonderful and wholesome. I just love Joel. I think, I don't know. But I need to commit and actually watch more of their stuff, because people are telling me I would really like it, but I don't know. I just haven't been able to cross that mental bridge to actually commit and watch a bunch of their stuff. Ten hands. Yes. Did I actually say 10 hands? I meant 10 fingies. I'm sorry. Bum bum bum. The Italics is like the dad of the friend group. I can see that. It's the beard. Fingers. That's a lot. It is indeed. All right. Well, last call for questions, concerns, comments, likes, subscribes. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna, close up shop here. It's been fun. It's definitely been a lot of fun. Thank you all for, bearing with me as I try to get used to this new medium. But it's also definitely helped that there are some people who are out there who are watching and have really enjoyed it. So yeah, without you few, I probably wouldn't have come back. But I had a lot of fun yesterday. I had a lot of fun today reading the play. So thank you all again. Really means a lot. Tip if you want some anime to watch. Future. I mean, maybe. It's the same thing with Vinesauce. It takes a lot for me to commit to watch anime. Well, have a great rest of your day. You too, Complex Note. Sergeant Chicken Wing, thank you very much for sticking around. Cornboy, you too. And for any other people who are watching, thank you all as well. I hope you have a great rest of your day. The world is a shitty place it looks like right now, but you know, I hope life gets better. So that's it. Thank you all.